And welcome to Calling You Home, Exploring Authenticity mid-series community event. We're excited to kick off today an exciting day of activities inside what has been about 2 weeks of virtual events, almost one a day. We have 2 more weeks after today. We're just super excited to talk about it. And so first, I just want to tell you who we are if you don't know, and invite you to join us. You can easily do that. At the end, I'll make sure that you know where all the links are, but in the links of all of our social media and, of course, our website, which is called AVVI.me, AVVI.me. You can find a link to this event and join us as much or as little as you want. Anyway, let me jump in and talk to you about what this is. So we are AVVI, the AVVI Experience. We provide coaching and programming like group coaching and webinars and pre-recorded learning for anyone. We designed originally believing that we were going to create a space for women or people who were on a more feminine heroine's journey, but we invite everybody to participate. And it's actually why we decided to do some programming around authenticity. The more we have been interacting with people through all of our programs, which also includes energy healing and journaling workshops beyond just one-on-one and group coaching. In fact, the depth and breadth has become so amazing, including in-person retreats that are back after COVID, that what we're just learning is that this year in particular, we wanted to focus on inviting people to be more of themselves, accepting more of ourselves, allowing other people to see more of themselves. And so this year, we believe we're going to do this annually. We decided to focus with our collaborators in the UK. Their organization is called We Are Formless. They are linked to us in our Instagram, our Facebook, and of course on YouTube. Again, we have all those links. They're amazing partners. This is our 2nd year working together. And we did that so that we could provide programming, if you will, across time zones. We wanted to go around the world and make things available in as many time zones as possible, both live and recorded events. And so we're doing that again this year. So let me just talk a little bit about today. First, if you don't know what I'm talking about, a series of virtual events means we have a start date and an end date. We usually do that related to full moons and new moons so that we can ensure that our programming addresses whatever energy flow and experiences we all might be having that are triggering us to be more of ourselves and or heal things that are coming up for us to think about and work through. So we design our curriculum, if you will. Last year it was 42 days. This year it's about 28. And I'm getting a message that says that I'm having live stream connection problems, but I'm going to keep going and assuming that you're here with me. Anyway, so back into the curriculum. I'm being a little geeky right now, but I do want you to understand what you would be buying if you would decide to join us. There is a fee to join us for these events. We sell it as a bundle because we've had a lot of feedback in the past that instead of it being onesie twosie and you trying to fit it into your life, which might be coming back in person and not just virtual or remote, that we wanted to show you a whole calendar of 28 days, which is available on our website and through our social links so that you could see what we're doing each day. And then in the middle of every series, we do what we call this mid-series community event. We encourage everyone who's signed up for our bundle to be with us live that day. And it looks like we are having trouble with the streaming link. Uh-oh. I'm just going to keep going until Heather, our awesome production person, tells me that I should not. Sorry again for the interruption if you are tracking with me. So the community event is meant to do that. It's meant to create community. So just so you understand what we think that is, we do something live in the morning. Throughout the day, we present things live. And then in the middle of that, you're going to see some links for things that are pre-recorded that can be downloaded so that you can watch them and do the work at any time. And so I just want to quickly run through what is available today. And it'll give you a flavor of what we do over the whole 28 days, or like last year, 42 days. So again, this is our welcome. In a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to my partners in crime. I'm going to let them talk about the sessions they're going to do, but I'm going to just run through it really quickly. And then we'll end with a meditation, and that will push us into the day. And like I said, after this, so at around 10:30 Pacific time, which is 6:30 British Standard Time, you can figure out all the other time zones that you're in, is Honing Your Intuition with Eugenie Bostrom. That will be live. In a few minutes, she'll tell you about that and herself and all of her work. At 11 Pacific time-ish, 7 British Standard Time is actually something that you don't have to worry about time, but it will be available to you to download and listen to at any moment in time. It's so awesome. I urge you to do that. It's a conversation with an animal healer and a channeler, a communicator. Awesome, 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 and interesting. That's Karuna doing that interview with Layla. I will let her tell a little bit about that in a few minutes. At 12:30 Pacific time, 8:30 British Standard Time, I will be back live, taking you through a deep journaling exercise about what you see is what you get. So again, the theme is exploring authenticity. I'm going to take you through a worksheet that's downloadable, or you can just write in a journal. There's about 7 questions that I promise will take you into the personal abyss of authenticity and ask you to ask some questions. There's Marina. Hi, Marina. Hi. I'm just doing a little overview of the day, and then I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves in just a minute. So I'm so glad the technology has allowed you to join us from the UK. Anyway, back into the calendar of today, everybody. After I do the What You See Is What You Get live session at 2 Pacific time, 10 British Standard Time, Karuna will be back doing a live energy healing. That's going to be awesome. I hope that you can join regardless of where you are. At 3 Pacific time, we are releasing a session that we did last week. It was a panel with 3 awesome women. We talked about authenticity and how they've pulled their passion and their most authentic selves into their work lives. So now their passion and their purpose and their authenticity isn't just something they're aspiring to bring into their life. They've worked super hard. They had great stories to share. It's Elmira Liliich, Layla Vasilia Sergakis, awesome. And Sev Silvestre from Dubai, who has, well, you just have to listen, actually. Just get the recording. It was a power-packed hour where Karuna and Eugenie and I were able to probe a little bit, again, on how they went from aspiring to bring themselves and having different work and different lives, and now have integrated their passion and their authenticity into their life. And it's so well worth listening to at least once. Can't sell that enough. I got to tell you, it's so good. Okay. And then at the end of the day, our last session live is at 4:30 Pacific time. I didn't write what the British Standard Time is when we're at 4:30, but it has to be at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something, right, Marina? Yeah. So if you're not sleeping and you want to join us, Michelle is going to do a heart-centered virtue session for us, which is lovely and beautiful and a great way to end this the day. I think you're doing loving kindness, right, Michelle? I'll let you tell about that in a little bit. And then I'm going to end us with a little bit of Rumi today and maybe a Radiant Sutra. I haven't decided yet. I have a few hours to decide. So anyway, everybody, I hope that you can join us for all or some of that. With that, I'm going to pass the ball to Eugenie, let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about everything you do in the session you're doing today.
Hi. Thank you, Chris. I think that was such a great overview of the 28-day series, kind of what our aim is. And I will just reiterate, this is our mid-series. And I think a lot of people might think, oh, darn it, I missed half of it already. But there's still so much. And again, you have recordings of what you may have missed, and you can take that at your own pace, and you have that to access. And I know for me, as much as I do this work because I need it, but I need it because things get so busy and so hectic. And so having those resources ready, sorry, dogs, having those resources there for me to access if I happen to be awake at 1 o'clock in the morning and want to finally, listen to these things that are really, really inspiring and insightful. So I do hope that anyone listening today can, if you haven't picked up a ticket yet, like just join us for the rest of the session live and have those recorded series. So that said, I still have 2 exciting workshops I'm really excited to share. As Chris said, we really run the gamut on the offerings, from meditations and Reiki healings to art, kind of creativity sessions. And interestingly, I think my workshops kind of they definitely are rooted in healing through the written word and healing our relationships with words, but they're really also interactive experiences with a group. It's a workshop with a group, hopefully, and where folks are really having that community healing experience by sharing, by learning together. And so rather than just kind of like tune in and maybe zone out, most of my sessions are really interactive, including right after this, when we log off, folks who are available can log right back in for a honing intuition. It's a short session, but just a dialogue on, when we're talking about authenticity, that word intuition comes up a lot. Like, what is your gut telling you? And it really takes practice to identify, is this my gut? Is this my intuition? Or is this my fear speaking? Or is this my limiting thoughts? Because they kind of feel the same a lot of times. And so I'm going to be sharing some practices on how to recognize the intuition, and then how to kind of invite it in if it feels like it's hiding behind the fear. So I'm really excited to kind of share those practices, as well as I think my next workshop, that again is more of a writing workshop, but an interactive writing workshop, is what is the one on? Oh, it's on, again, yeah, healing your relationship with the written word. The one that you can get a recording of is about really identifying your desires and allowing your desires to surface. And this next one is about healing that relationship with the written word, because a lot of us tend to be intimidated with the journal. And so practicing kind of what it means to not be so tied to what the words mean, and just that practice of feeling into the words and how those words can heal us when we write them down, share or don't share them, burn the pages, what have you. Yeah, really excited to jump into some of those. I don't know, Chris, did you want me to talk a little bit about kind of other work, or just, how we came together? Or
Sure. Why don't you take a minute and do that, and then you can pass the baton, the ball, whatever we're passing.
So yeah, I guess, I kind of mentioned, I do this work, I put these workshops together, all really because it's what I need. And I love to share the things that work for me. And I am a constantly recovering workaholic. And so, from a career in, policy and nonprofit world, that can feel really high stakes, and you have, super strong personal investment and energy, time allocated to this thing outside of ourselves. It's easy to then, and I think most of my life I attached my value to how much I was producing, and really addicted to that. And so it's been about 5 years of real intentional work on finding that value in myself, and practicing that day to day. And it's really easy to slip back into that addiction, that workaholism. And so these kind of daily practices that I've just had to employ on myself, I found is also really healing to share in community, like with AVVI and with We Are Formless. And my journey, my real intentional journey on healing started a couple of years ago. I guess I said 5 years ago now, and I found myself somehow, from I was living in New Mexico to London, taking a coaching course, and I met some lovely individuals that we across the pond there. And so I will pass the baton to my friend Marina, who I met there that fateful day in our coaching course a few years ago.
Hi everyone, so good to be with you. Yeah, just what a time to be alive, and what a time for us to be, you know, from the heart, and just kind of all we have is our experience, right? So I always think that that's all we can share. Like that's the root of, you know, authenticity, is just what we experience and how we go on to kind of, you know, share and shape the world, because that's what we're all doing. You know, I read the other day, or in one of my research holes that I go into, that like our cells and our atoms, they literally impact the universe. So the universe is only the way it is because you exist, right? And I just thought, wow, like that's so incredible. And those that, you know me well know I had sort of like a pretty scary experience about literally this time a week ago, right? Like it was the most scary experience I've ever had, and it's just, in a way, probably the realest experience I've ever had. And it was an accident, and it was shocking, and it was terrifying. And God, like the transformation that, you know, you can go through in just a week of everything kind of you thought was important, just being presented to you, and just realizing like actually all that's important is just this life and this experience, and all of the, you know, all of the other stuff is just stuff. And I feel like in a way that's what this journey is, this kind of collective co-creative space, is just a journey of, you know, what it is that we experience, and how we get to share that with the world and each other, because really there are sort of, you know, no wrongs and no rights, no black and no white, there's no one way. So yeah, really happy to be here, and I'm going to take everyone on like a little meditation moment soon, and just want to check in if we want to start that now, or we want some space to chat a bit more.
Let's chat a little bit more. I'd love for Michelle and Karuna to have a chance to talk about what they're going to do today, because those are both live sessions. And then we'll come back, Marina, to you, because yes, right. we need that meditation to get in today.
Yeah, I need that meditation too. So I'm happy to do that for myself, but really just so happy to always, you know, be creating from the heart and coming together, and, you know, feel so special. And I'll be doing my, you know, kind of We Are Formless RV session this week, part 3 of kind of our little journey of We Are Formless. And, you know, kind of, I guess what I describe myself most as is an artist, but even then I sort of struggle to describe myself as anything other than just human. But art is what I do, I guess. That's always been my, you know, my therapy, my outlet, my way of, you know, just like Eugenie was saying with writing, you know, it's like the artist for me is like, it's one of the loneliest roles, because it's everything that goes on inside of you, and you have to then find a medium to express that without any guarantee that anyone will relate to it. And obviously we're in this kind of social media self-promotion era. You feel like if you put your art out and people don't engage, then it's wrong. But that's not what art is, right? Art is your expression. And so I really sort of, what I've really come to find is that, you know, working with that medium for me, and not having to, you know, promote it and use it as a tool, but just the process is kind of synonymous for the process of life. Mm-hmm. So like, not always the end product, not always the end goal, the validation, just living, just creating. So that's kind of what I want to sort of explore a bit more now. journey, and yeah,
it's
kind of
so before we pass on to the baton. Pat, I can't talk today. I'm having Mercury retrograde throat chakra issues, so I just want to say that for everybody. I'm tired. Woo! This is awesome. I want to just say something to what Marina you just said. For those who know me, I have a new home. I have been spending a lot of time trying to figure out like how to fill this space in a way that feels like me now. And that it's interesting because Marina, you kind of triggered that because I'm thinking, you know, I catch myself sometimes being fully transparent, everybody, and authentic, right? Judging it.
Yeah.
Like worrying about who am I worried about? Like who actually matters? Nobody should technically matter, right? But like wondering, and you're right, like because I have space in this house to do real art that I didn't have space before. I've created that, but you know, I am not an artist. I'm not you or my daughter going to art school. And so for me, just witnessing, and this has a lot to do also with, like you were saying, Eugenie, like the self-judgment on it. Like, who cares if my stupid art is good or bad? Like, not everyone is going to actually go in the Getty, really. None of it's going to go in the Getty. But besides that, like, you know, that witnessing the voice, like you're saying, that's what I call it when I start to realize I'm being me. I'm doing my stuff. I'm making choices that actually are authentically coming from me, and then that thing tries to shut it down. So anyway, we're here to try and get rid of that thing, everybody, and work through it. So you are all living the journey with us, everybody who's watching on Facebook or Instagram or hopefully YouTube. So Karina, why don't you talk a little bit about who you are, the session with Layla, the animal healer channeler, which I'm so excited about, and energy healing. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Eugenie. I'm so glad you guys are on, or I should say you ladies are on. You know, it's funny. I'm Karuna Merchandani. And Chris and I always talk about, God, we created this space, and I want to use it more than anybody. I don't even care who shows up. Like, I want to go to all these sessions. I'm like, it's fine. It's just party of one. I'm good with it. I think we create what we need. And so here we are in this space. So I love the fact that we're all here together. I am also a recovering workaholic, and so have transitioned quite bumpily actually into the energy world, and it's taken me a long time to kind of find the thing or be okay with whatever is inside, and as Chris was saying, kind of stop judging and always worried about what other people would think, because, you know, as Walt Whitman said, right, be yourself because everyone else is taken. So here we are. So I am also an energy healer, and I do Reiki energy, and I have a session coming up today live. And for those of you who don't know, Reiki is, it can be done remotely. So that is kind of a nice thing about energy healing. And it really is a way of guiding energy throughout the body to promote really the recipient's self-healing abilities, because we all have our bodies are able to heal ourselves. And so I'm really not doing anything. I'm just being there as a channel for the energy, and it heals and it empowers whatever you need as a recipient. So it's just a lovely way. And I really became an energy healer because I wanted to do it on myself. It was really I wanted to learn that for myself because I felt like I needed healing from within. And Reiki energy really returns us to our true self, I think. And so it's just a lovely way of doing that. So I hope you have time today. It's going to be a quick 20-minute session. And I will also be blasting remote energy to everyone remotely. So that's one. And I am so excited. I got to do this with a friend of mine where I recorded a session with Europe's premier animal healer and communicator, Leila Del Monte. She's a good friend, and in France, everyone goes to her if they have problems with their pets and big animals. And I had an amazing conversation with her because we got to talk about her life and how she got here and talk about living authentically. I mean, she was born with this gift, and she talks about it in our chat session about how she knew. I mean, she was able to communicate with animals since she was 6, 5, 6, and it's just a lovely journey that she's been on. Not always easy. So she talks about that, and so it was just great to kind of probe a little bit and find out the real story and how she shows up every day in her authentic self, because she doesn't know how to do it any other way. So it's just a fantastic conversation. It's a recording. You have access to it. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear and learn more about her. So yeah, I think that's what's on tap with me today, and I'm going to pass it on to Michelle Calderigi. Take it away, Michelle.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Super excited to be here today. I'm an AVVI coach and also a licensed. Hi, Mercury retrograde. Can't talk either. Licensed facilitator for Danielle Laporte's work that she has designed, both the Desire Map and her new work, which is called Heart Centered. So I have been taking some people through, whoever showed up in our earlier programming, through one of the virtues that she has designed called Divine Love. Today, I will be taking everybody through loving kindness, talking about what it is and doing a little writing exercise about taking maybe some of those fear or limiting thoughts and creating new thoughts that might be more healing, so that you can embody more loving kindness for yourself and for others, so that we can be more accepting of our authentic selves. It's never a perfect process when we're trying to do that. And it's, as Chris mentioned, there's always those moments where you go, oof, but how do we get through that? So having those loving thoughts that you can turn to help you be your authentic self. So I'm really excited about that. And I think I'm doing that towards the end of the day today, right, Chris? So
4:30 Pacific time, and I think that's 1 o'clock in the morning, British Standard Time. I might be off a little bit, everybody, so you need to check the time zones. But yeah, it's the last session of the day. It's going to be really great. It's a really great way to end the day.
Yeah, so I'm really excited, and I think Eugenie has one other thing that she wants to talk about. Is that right, Eugenie?
Yeah, thank you. I think some things this was great to hear from everyone here. And as Chris mentioned, Avi and We Are Formless are the hosts of this. And we've talked a little bit about some of our other amazing practitioners that we call in for these for our series that we've been able to kind of lean on our community here. And so I just wanted to so two new practitioners that weren't a part of Calling You Home last time that I'm really excited about, I wanted to share. So Marina, I thank you for your vulnerability and sharing your experience. And we have Taylor Lewis, who's an amazing creative director, who is sharing two sessions that really dives into ego death and then rebirth and what that means. And I bring up, Marina, your story because hers is very similar, and she started her journey really understanding her relationship with ego and what that means after a near-death car accident with she and her boyfriend, which I won't give too much up about what that series, her two sessions have in store, but they will be both visually beautiful and inspiring and enlightening. And so I really encourage people, whether you have your ticket, to make sure you make those, or get your ticket so that it's totally worth jumping into those. And then also another amazing creative, Espi Megana. will be he is just got the most beautiful, the voice of an angel, this amazing singer, and just spent a life in theater, and is honestly one of the most authentic people I've ever met. He cannot walk into a room without all of him shining on everyone around him. And so to spend an hour with him, even on Zoom, talking about some practices that he has learned and translated from, from being in theater, really some mirror work, which people know, and translating that to loving himself, and how he's also even translated that self-love to art again, and this form of expression during a time during COVID when he wasn't able to sing, he wasn't able to get out there, and so how he then really transferred that creative and authenticity to a new medium. And it's again really powerful, inspiring. And then of course one of our beloved practitioners, Allison Bagg, will, I think, close out the series with an amazing and powerful sound bath. So not to be missed. This is going to be super powerful.
We're chock full of people. I just want to say it. I can see our Facebook and Instagram. That's why I keep looking down at who's with us. And I know that there are people, I won't mention your names out loud. And then I'll pass it to you, Marina, so we can do our meditation and stay to our timing. But I just want to say this because I think it kind of grounds everybody in what we're doing. This is not a shallow exercise. Like we didn't design or decide to offer 28 days of this series and today and what we're offering in a light way. Like we went out and we continually are looking for people to tell their story, like what Eugenie said, because we are looking for people who are at the beginning, middle, and end of their, and I don't know if there's an end right until we are dead, but maybe more proficient and more comfortable, I should say, not end, but of integrating their authentic selves into their life. And I just want to say out loud for everybody who's new to this conversation with us, what we believe that means is, moving through as many moments of ego death that you might need, right? So Karuna mentioned she was a workaholic. We all have some version of this story, you guys. We all were either corporate or worked and have been working to support ourselves and our families, etc. Oftentimes doing work that was not completely reflective of our true self, and that's because for many people, I don't know, we're not even encouraged to do that. We explored that in some of our sessions. I'm not here to blame that on anyone. I'm here to say it's our responsibility that if we know that our true self is showing up and yet it feels like it's in competition in some way or doesn't fit in your life, right? I can't take myself to work. Karuna and I used to joke about that we would be coaching people in the corporate environment. And oftentimes I'm like, we need to sponsor like Bring Yourself to Work Day, because some of these people are literally showing up. Karuna was one of them. She was my coaching client twice before we did this, who oftentimes would say to me, she's one person at home and another person in real life, right? And I know, Marina, you have a version of that. Michelle has a version of that. I do, Eugenie. And so I just want to say to everyone, these aren't light. We didn't lightly pick, just like our friends and family, these panels and these sessions, are people who deeply live exploring authenticity, right? And exploring what we're trying to bring to each of you. And because we know it's not easy, we believe all these modalities that we're offering can help if they resonate with you, right? You may say energy healing. What the hell is that? And by the way, I did that a long time ago. And until I started to realize, okay, well, that's a modality. And when I say modality, you guys, I mean a thing that you can, if it resonates with you, like you go, yep, that sounds like a good idea to me, that you go try it. And then maybe it actually helps. And it's helps because you feel that, okay, that whatever, journaling or energy healing or ecstatic dance or body movement in some way, or going through the virtues with Michelle, or filling out journal prompts with me on what you see is, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You find the thing that works for you. and we're putting it all out there so you can find the thing that works for you. And I'm going to turn it over to Marina. I just want to say also, somewhere in this series, forgive me for not knowing when the recording would be available, or already, maybe it's already available in the portal. Only Heather can tell you that. I won't make her get on camera because Mission Control doesn't like to be on camera. But I interviewed a corporate client who lives his life as a Viking, for real, every day, completely authentically. And that was also an eye-opening interview for me because, you know, he very quickly, this Thursday, thank you, Heather, that's going to be out and in the portal for you to download and listen to as many times as possible, you know, but I just want to make sure we are acknowledging that being authentic is hard. And one of the things that Douglas talked about was, you know, he's a big white man. And so he feels like he realizes him being authentic is maybe privilege. And so I just want to tell you, we get into some really deep, meaningful discussions around this. So anyway, I'll shut up and give this to Marina so she can send us into the day with a meditation. But that's how excited we all are. So, okay, I'll stop talking. I swear. Go, Marina, go. I'm putting myself on mute.
Well, firstly, yeah, it's just, you know, so inspiring always to just have all of these different stories. And, you know, even yesterday, like I've been with my parents all weekend. They just came to stay with me. And, you know, before I deep dive into meditation, we went to visit, you know, one of my stepdad's old friends that actually lives close to where I am at the moment. And, you know, he is just like probably the coolest person on the planet, but, you know, could scare a million people just with his profanity and his language. And, you know, he was in the Falklands War and has seen and done things that, you know, you can't even comprehend. You know, he said that during one of the wars that he was in, he looked and saw his friends, he saw these hands all on fire burning, and then realized they were his. And, you know, he's been in and out of prison. He's been all over the world. And, you know, now, like, he's just, you know, I'm saying this because I just had like a few hours with him yesterday, and I've known him since I was a child. And he's just so kind of, you know, if we do this again, maybe he will be the kind of someone that could be part of this journey. Because I just thought, wow, like his stories are just so real. And, you know, kind of Eugenie touching upon this artist, and it's these experiences that kind of, you know, we think, oh God, like why do these moments happen in life? But, you know, they don't happen for a reason. They just happen. It's just part of life. And I guess what it is we get to then choose, you know, we get to facilitate kind of what those experiences become, you know. So if maybe we feel like we've been holding back, or we've been nervous of judgment, or worried about what people think of you, or, you know, colleagues, how we work together, or, you know, all of the things we all worry about, like, did I say something, did I do and, you know, my moment was this time last week. Literally, I was on the side of a road and I felt like everything was falling apart. And in a weird way, am I grateful? Yeah, like, because firstly, I'm alive. Like, that's all, you know, I'm grateful to just be alive. And secondly, none of it matters. It just doesn't. Like, it doesn't matter, because all we can be is who we are, right? And so if you hate me, you hate me, and that's fine. Like, I can't be anything other than what I am, and I can't show up in any other way than the way I do. And I have actually spent so many years doing that, showing up. And, you know, why do we feel so drained in our energy? It's because we're not showing up as ourselves, right? And it takes so much energy to kind of curate this this version that we want people to like and approve and give us money and give us jobs and give us some. I always really struggled with it, and I could never really do it. And I'd really like dip in energy, and older I've got, the less I've done it. And, you know, you have these moments, and everyone has these moments. I'm not unique. We all have those moments that just strip it all away. And so I think that that's what this kind of circle and this experience is like, how have we all been stripped, you know? and what were those moments? It could be one, and it could be a multitude. And what do we make of those experiences? So in a way, I kind of want to start from there with meditation, just coming back to yourself and what that is. And if you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. And if you don't. If you want to lie down, if you want to just get comfortable, just get really, really comfortable. Funnily enough, I actually like to meditate more with my eyes open than closed, but it can look a bit jarring. So I might dip in and out of closed eyes, but really just welcoming you to really return to whatever state feels comfortable on this Sunday, whatever time zone you're in, whatever time you're watching this. Firstly, I just want you to allow the breath to be fully natural, just really natural, no force, no thinking whether you're inhaling through your nose or exhaling through your mouth, no deepening, just whatever feels natural. And just really staying with the ebb and flow of each breath you inhale and each exhale. And keeping the attention with your external space and body. Allowing yourself to really just tune in to the skin that you're in. You might even want to hold hands with yourself. Feel your flesh, your skin, the bones underneath. This body that we're all blessed with. And just really allowing the breath to soften muscles. Notice where you might be still holding onto any tensions. Our mental tensions can really be held in all different parts of the body. Often the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. So just allowing any movement that invites you to soften into your body. We're going to start to just travel inwards now into our internal landscape. Inviting you to really start to scan. Really start to allow the breath to journey to flow within. And thinking of this breath as an energy in itself. Really tuning in to where this energy might settle, what it might meet, what it might discover. There's so much wisdom held within these physical vessels, our bodies. Just allowing yourself to really connect with this place of truth. Imagine like it's meeting an old friend. Deep, deep friendship and bond. Always there to hold, support and guide. And just want to invite you to take a moment to be with this friend and listen. Listen to their stories. Their voice. Tuning into the wisdom they hold. Sinking further into an armchair next to an open fire or ocean. Just listening to the person you love most. You can fully just be. You feel the body start to drop, to deepen into the most blissful relaxation. Where you know that none of the stuff matters. None of the numbers and the hearts and the likes and the titles and the names and the selfies and the videos and the content. You're just with this truth and wisdom, which is always infinite. It's always truth. Just breathing in every single piece of your friend's story, their guidance, their love, their full acceptance of all your atoms and all your cells. How does it feel to be in the presence of complete acceptance? And you know this conversation will soon pause. Maybe there's a longing for it to continue. And you thank this conversation, you thank this wisdom, this energy, this friend, this acceptance. And you know the invitation is always there to return, that you hold this landscape within you. And just returning back to the breath and noticing how your internal environment feels after this pure exchange. Beginning to notice how your organs feel, how your mind feels, your heart, stomach. Do your muscles feel softer? Noticing any messages, any guidance or wisdom that was departed. Any truths told that you get to bring into your experience. And reminding yourself this door is always open to return to your inner sanctuary. And giving yourself permission to cultivate this space as often as you desire. And just beginning to notice how your external environment feels. You might want to start to touch your skin again, hold your hands. Feel into the body, allow any movement, any stretches. Paying gratitude to yourself. To the wisdom within. The soul companion, which of course is you. This companion of truth, vulnerability, ancient wisdom. If it feels good, just taking 1 or 2 really nourishing deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. When you feel ready, just letting the light back in through your eyes, gently blinking them open, and realizing each and every moment is yours. Yours to experience and express, and to be exactly who you are. You never need to explain who you are, name what you are, justify who you are. Like I mentioned earlier, the universe is created from all of our cells and atoms. It is shaped by us. Without you, it is different. It is not the universe we know and live in. So just really returning back to that place of your truth is exactly what the universe requires. And just thanking you all so much for co-creating this space. Every person that joins, whether now or watches it later, was part of creating this space. Thank you.
Marina, that was so beautiful.
I wish I could start every Sunday morning with you in my head. That was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we have to go into the day. Anybody want to have any closing words? That was so good. I'm speechless.
No.
I will only say that if folks are interested and available to hop into the Honing Your Intuition conversation, that should be in the portal. And I don't know if Heather did send out an email as well, but there should be a link there in the portal for folks to hop in. So hopefully I'll see some of you.
That's right. Anybody I think when we say the portal, anybody who's on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, look at that. Book your Exploring Authenticity tickets. Visit link in bio or description. Go Heather, mission control, always in control. Yay, that's why we have them. You go, girl. So it's there for you. So if you haven't joined us, everybody, what Eugenie's saying is you can join this series. We're midway through, but I know that in the portal, if you choose, remember, we're not selling individual tickets for little 30-minute sessions here and there. You'll get the whole thing, the whole bundle with all the recordings that are in there. And then, of course, all to come in the next 2 weeks. So we hope you'll join us. We're excited about this work. We're doing this work with you. And with that, have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you, everybody.